the whole story on the HAARP project is just one of many things that are going on in the world today that people are completely unaware of. And it wasn't until reading David Icke's book, The Biggest Secret, recently, that I discovered that I was completely unaware of these stories as well. Now, whether or not I chose to believe David's version of events was entirely up to me, so I decided to start doing my own research and find out if what he was talking about was true and whether it deserved any merit. This is also the reason why I started taping this segment and educating people about what's really going on in the world, hence your real news. One of the things that shocked me was when he spoke about how HIV was not the real cause of AIDS. Now, you may say, wow, how is that possible? Well, I decided to research that, and lo and behold, I found that scientist after scientist was talking about how the whole HIV thing was a complete hoax. Now, a lot of the footage that's out there was taped back in the 1990s, believe it or not, but for some reason never seemed to make it into the mainstream media.
Is HIV the cause of AIDS? If not, as Neville Hodgkinson of the London Sunday Times put it, then we will have witnessed the greatest medical scientific blunder of the 20th century.
They've got to hold on to HIV. Why? To hold on to their funding.
It's a disgrace for any other disease with this much disagreement about the cause. We would by now have a balanced portfolio.
They're dispersing AZT to 200,000 Americans in the name of a hypothesis that stands unproven, a drug that is the most toxic drug that has ever been licensed for long-term consumption in the free world.
How the United States gave AIDS to the world.
I've since discovered that a new documentary was produced just last year, actually in 2009, by Brent Leung, an independent Canadian filmmaker, and the DVD release of this particular movie is due out this coming July of 2010. The film is called House of Numbers, and it explores how the diagnosis of being HIV positive has more to do with the answers you provide to lifestyle questions than any specific microbe appearing in your blood.
Because it's been surrounded from day one with so much emotion, very few people are capable of looking at AIDS logically.
There is a group of AIDS denialists that say that HIV does not exist and has never been isolated, which is as bizarre as it gets.
The probable cause of AIDS has been found.
Credit must go to our eminent doctor, Robert Gallo, who produced this discovery.
Gallo said he had all these viruses, and it was a lie.
These are HIV here?
Yeah.
Oh, so are these HIV too?
Yeah.
Everything's
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
The presently available data does not prove the existence of HIV.
I mean, it exists.
Why do you believe that HIV does cause AIDS?
Because that's all the information that I've been given.
Because that's what the scientific community has told us.
AIDS is not a disease. AIDS is a whole lot of different things.
Some countries, they'll make up their own definition.
The more diseases they could lump into this AIDS syndrome, the more patients they could catch.
Peter is highly intelligent, but he's killing people with his theories.
I'm about to go in for my first HIV test, and I'm a little nervous.
Tell me about your sex life.
I'm not gay, I'm not a hemophiliac, and I've never used intravenous drugs.
Now, if I tell you that the test you took was lousy and didn't mean a thing, does that make any difference for everybody to hear?
Did the answers to these questions help aid in the diagnosis?
Of course they did.
Really?
But HIV testing isn't an absolutely precise science.
AIDS is one thing in Greenwich Village and a very different thing in Kampala, Uganda.
The vast majority of the world's population is not at any measurable risk of HIV infection.
I think HIV totally has turned out not to be the cause of AIDS. HIV has turned out not to be.
We can be exposed to HIV many times.
without being chronically infected. Our immune system could get rid of the virus within a few weeks if you have a good immune system.
Some people are very fortunate that they don't have these side effects.
This film promises to blow the lid off the whole HIV scandal, so I highly recommend you go to www.houseofnumbers.com and order your copy. It's coming out, like I said, in July of 2010. Next time on Your Real World, I'll go into a little bit more detail about your straw man that I spoke about on a previous episode, as I don't believe people quite understood what I was talking about there, so I have a little video that I can show you that might help explain that a little bit better. And also, we examined the biggest con game in the world that everyone has basically fallen for. And by that I mean the Federal Reserve. Also, from now on, Your Real World will become its very own show, as it's causing me to split the U2 show into 2 parts every single time, and I don't really want to do that anymore. So next time, look for Your Real World independently of the U2 show. Well, that's all we have time for on the show today. As I mentioned, from now on, the U2 show and Your Real World will become separate entities, separate shows of their own, so you can look for a lot more entertainment and comedy on the U2 show. See you next time.
That was the perfect